There are 5 chronic illnesses, and again, you got doctors in the room who will correct me on this, but 4 or 5 chronic illnesses which consume about 75 cents of the dollar, healthcare dollar. And all those illnesses, not that they're preventable, but you can certainly slow a lot of them down. Certainly, Dan kindly mentioned the issue of smoking, for instance, which I mean, again, this is not, you don't have to have a PhD in medicine to know that, we lose 400,000 people a year in the United States because of tobacco-related illnesses. 4,000 children today in America will start smoking, and 7 days a week, 4,000 every single day start smoking. Every single week, 28,000 children every week start smoking, and it's a business model. You get about 370,000 kids start smoking. We lose 400,000 along the way, and I appreciate Dan mentioning it. For 15, 20 years, we have tried to get the FDA to regulate tobacco products, and until this spring, by a 1-vote margin, by the way, I got it out of committee by a 1-vote margin here. The FDA could regulate mascara, cat food, dog food, lipstick, men's cologne, but you could not regulate tobacco products. Today you can. For the first time, the production, the marketing, and the sale of tobacco products. Obesity, violence in the country, all of these safety issues as well as health issues are there. And I should mention this to you, by the way, when people talk about the aspects of this bill, and they say, well, why don't you just wait a while? Maybe we just can't take this on right now, and let's wait till another time, and so let's slow down. If it were just the status quo, I'd be willing to listen to an argument, but it's anything but the status quo. And this is what I'm afraid people don't realize here. Put aside the individual cases of what happens to people who don't have health care. This is not like delaying buying a car or taking a vacation. It's all of us have had this happen to you, where you wake up in the morning and discover you or a loved one needs to be in that emergency room or needs that health care. And there's no waiting until some nice time when you can afford to do it, and those things happen. My 8-year-old, last week, I made the mistake. I promised my 8-year-old on her birthday I'd take her to Disney World. And I did for 2 days. And I'm going to tell you something, I deserve medals for this. First of all, they ought to run America, first of all. I've never seen anything as efficient in my life as that whole place down there. It's just stunning what they do, moving people around. But the day before I went, she broke her arm. And she was running around in her schoolyard, and as she describes this, she was wearing, this is her words, I was in a hand-me-down skirt that was too narrow, and I take long strides when I run. So I broke her arm in 2 places, and there we were in the emergency room, trying to get it set, the cast and so forth, and of course, fill out all those things you do, and the insurance to cover it, and things. That, a family that's struggling, you lost your job, you don't have health care, your child breaks your arm, you're not a senator's daughter, you don't have a good health care plan because I'm one of 8 million people as a federal employee, then you're in trouble. So the economics of this are stunning. We're going to jump to almost $250,000 to $25,000 a year in premium costs for a family of 4 in the state if we don't change in the next 7 to 10 years. 3.5 million jobs could be lost in our country. Bankruptcies. 62% of the bankruptcies in this country this year were health care crisis related. And 70% of that 62% were people with insurance. It's not the uninsured that are going bankrupt. It's people with health insurance that are going bankrupt because of a health care crisis. So aside from the individual human condition, the broader economic issues are going to be affected if we don't step up and get this done. So this crowd out here and others who say don't do this, the answer is, sit around and see what happens to our country if we don't. So there's a lot at stake tonight. That's right.